Mirembrema Sieni. Now, I haven't been drinking. That, my friends, is Albanian for good evening, how are you? Why? Because yesterday we learned that up to 2% of that country's males aged between 20 and 40 are now in this country, the UK, via those infamous channel crossings. So I thought, you know, like you would, a few might be watching tonight. And I sort of thought it would be nice to make them feel at home. Yesterday, unbelievably, it was revealed that the Home Office has managed to process just 4% of asylum claims from channel migrants in the last year. This department is frankly so useless at deportation, they couldn't even get rid of Suella Braverman for good. But tonight, because I know immigration is what so many of you care about and want to talk about, it's illegal immigration. Not those people who come here perfectly lawfully and contribute to our wonderful country, but illegal immigration specifically from Albania. That's what we're going to talk about. And no, it's not about stereotypes or race. According to a commander at Border Force, Albanian gangs are now dominating the drugs trade, human trafficking, illegal weapons dealing and prostitution rings in this country. And joining me first up is a woman who unbelievably found an Albanian migrant in her very own home after he arrived in Dover. You might have seen this story. Sue Doyle joins us with her neighbour, Louise Monga. Sue, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. For people who've read this is extraordinary. Just tell us exactly what happened. I believe it was on Sunday.
Yes, it was. I was sitting in the front room. The dog had gone out in the garden and she'd come back in, and then very shortly after, I glanced up and there's this lad standing in my front room, standing right in front of me. The dog went absolutely ballistic. She was absolutely going crazy at him, and he said to take her upstairs, shut her. So, not knowing if he was dangerous or not, I did take the dog upstairs and shut her in the back bedroom. And then I came back down, and he then started demanding my telephone. He kept putting his hand out and saying, give it to me, give it to me. So I handed him my phone, and then he noticed there was another one on the table, so he wanted that one as well. And he was trying to make a phone call, and he couldn't connect onto my internet where it was connected.
Just bless you.
But then he went onto Facebook.
How scary is that for you? You're in your house on a Sunday, and suddenly it turns out an Albanian migrant who's come across the channel is literally in your house demanding your phone or whatever. Were you terrified?
Yeah, I was. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't get out because he did make me shut the back door.
It's extraordinary.
So I couldn't get out of there.
Louise Monga, neighbour, who I know...
upstairs.
What happened in the aftermath? Did you call the police? What happened? Louise, maybe help out.
Well, what happened was Sue came knocking on my door and she said, Louise, there's an immigrant in my house. And I was like, what? Can you say again? And she went, Louise, there's somebody in my house. Well, Jeremy, I didn't think twice, mate. I put on my shoes. I yelled up to my partner. I went straight round there. I didn't know what I was expecting, what I was going to be walking into. So I had to be strong, be calm, be collect. I've walked in. He's knocked downstairs. I've walked up the stairs. I've gone, hello. A voice behind the nursery door said hello back. I've opened the door. He is sitting on the floor with the two phones, and I've gone, you're not meant to be here. Not English, no police, no police. So I've grabbed the scruff of his coat.
Have you?
I pulled him up. I said, you're not meant to... Yeah, I pulled him up because he's trying to shoo me out. So I've pulled him up and I've gone... I yelled at him, you're not meant to be here. Leave this house. So I'm trying to get him out. He's passing me this phone. There's some woman on the end of the phone, which I later on found out it was his mum. Translation, we couldn't understand each other.
Did you call the
He
police?
gave me his passport.
Yeah.
Sue was in my house with my son and my partner calling the police. While I'm still next door, I had his passport, looked at his passport. I realised he was a 16-year-old boy. I had to change. I had to calm, and I tried getting him downstairs. He kept trying to walk up, so I'm nudging him.
It's extraordinary.
Nudging him downstairs.
Can I ask,
basically
sorry, I know
got
there's
him
a
out.
delay. Sue, very quickly, and I really appreciate you being on. Two very quick questions. Are you taking extra precautions now? Because the reality is you're minding your own business and a migrant walks into your house. That's terrifying. Are you looking over your shoulder, to be fair?
Well, everything has to be locked now, the windows, the doors.
And you don't feel comfortable staying there
No.
anymore, do you?
No, I've been going down to my mum's, staying down there overnight
And have you both noticed...
because I don't want to be in the house on my own.
Unbelievable.
Pardon?
Have you both noticed a difference in the number of migrants? You live in a village outside Dover. Just from both of you, are there more migrants that are obvious? Yes or no?
Yes.
Extraordinary. Listen, really appreciate you joining us. Sue Doyle, Louise Monger from a village outside Dover. I'm joined in the studio by Chris Hobbs, former Met Police Border Control Officer, and also down the line Stephen Woolfe, Director of the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity. Let's start, if we can, with you, Stephen. Let's just lay this out in layman's terms. We've heard it's just such a disturbing story there. Why?
Yes.
And I want to make the point tonight to people watching, this is about illegal Albanian migrants. We're told there could be 10,000 of these criminals, right, in this country, disappearing into our society and committing crime. How the hell is this happening, Stephen?
It's happening because there is no willpower or decisiveness of the Home Office to actually tackle this properly. Yes, of course, we know that they've undertaken an agreement with Albania to send them back quickly. And we do know that they've been trying to have the Rwanda policy to deal with asylum seekers as they come into the country and have them go somewhere else. But the reality is there hasn't been a strong Prime Minister from Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, and I doubt very much from Rishi Sunak, that is backing the Home Secretary and taking tremendously strong action to actually deter these and remove them instantly, despite the fact of the immigration industry's actions. We need action now because this was dangerous. What we've just heard is an example of something that we said would happen eventually. And that could have been a lot worse for that lady. My heart goes out to her, as I know yours will do too. But this should never have happened. And we now need a Home Secretary who will do this properly and start removing them despite the immigration industry's actions.
Quite agree. Joined also in the studio, Chris Hobbs, former Met Police Border Control Officer. Absolutely no criticism in any way from me, but I'm almost exasperated because I know that the people that watch this network, right, the number one thing in all the polls that we've done since we started is all about immigration. I hear that, the people, I'm talking illegal immigration. How in the name of the Lord are these people allowed to get past border control? How is it that newspapers can say there's 10,000 of them and we're not doing anything about it? I don't understand.
I think if you talk to a border force officer, and I've got lots of friends from when I used to work, that they are in total despair, to be quite honest. The way the organisation's run, they've no confidence in whoever the Home Secretary is. They've no confidence in senior managers at the Home Office. So you've got low morale there to start with. What you've got at the moment is a situation, obviously, down on the coast, where they're coming in droves. The French won't accept them back. They won't do a tremendous amount to stop them coming.
But I want to make the point that I'm talking specifically tonight, because one of the issues when you're talking about immigration is that you don't make the difference between, not you, the migrants, the people who need help. These are criminals. We're reading newspaper reports. There's 10,000 who disappear into our society. You heard that and saw the story of that woman. Why can't Border Force or the police arrest them and go, we know you're going to go and run drugs lines and deal with weapons and stuff. You can't do this. Why are we able to know how many there are, but seemingly we don't have any control over them coming?
That's right. The Chief Inspector of Borders and Immigration went, didn't he, to the holding centre and was absolutely appalled because they're overcrowded. There is nowhere to put them. Yes, they've broken the law by coming here. We've no room in our prisons. Our criminal justice system is completely messed up. The police are totally overwhelmed with everything else.
Are they powerless or are they weak, the police?
The police, I think, every police officer I've spoken to today, and a lot of them have been in touch with me, are very worried because we've got major Albanian gangs here in London. 2 big gangs, one based in Barking, one in South London. They're already controlling much of the drugs trade, as you've said. They're obviously bringing these people in. Some of them will be foot soldiers, some of them will be lieutenants, some of them will be poor people who've just said, yeah, we'll go, and will be, when they get here, will be basically slaves until they paid the debt off.